And we're live 1 minute late, but that's pretty good for us because a lot of times we're not on schedule. Feels weird to go live right now. I don't know. Lately, it feels like I've been stepping back a lot, not on purpose, but a lot of what I'm doing is with this bodybuilding show and stuff like that. It's a chance for me to prove something to myself and putting my mindset back in that space. That's actually another topic I want to talk about too. And maybe we'll start with that. Is embodying the state and you almost become consumed by it. So you become what you are, right? So, or kind of contradicting there, but what you think about the most is what you become, and you experience what you are in this reality. So, for me, it's like when I switch my mindset back to that, okay, I'm going to get myself back in shape. I'm going to do something that I wanted to do since I was a teenager, but never had the confidence to do. And then I got injured. And then I thought, hey, how am I going to ever do this while I'm injured? So I just changed my mindset and I just embody that state. So by embodying that state of this bodybuilding show, it's I'm looking at people that I can compete with online. It's like so I'm getting that little ego back watching. I'm looking in the gym, I'm comparing myself now. Like I said, don't compare yourself in the gym to other people where you hurt yourself. It's like, oh, he's lifting this much, I'm gonna lift this much. It's good to have a healthy ego and competition because it drives you. So for me, I'm looking around and I'm like, all right, there's competition. Then I'm watching videos of people I admire while I'm working out. I'm listening to their mindset and their mentalities. And Tom Platz, he's judging this show that I'm going to be in, and I really like his attitude, which is a very heavily manifesting mindset. Because a lot of the things I say, I hear him saying these in these motivational speeches. So it's like he knows about the law, and I think that's really cool. So I mean, I just pretty much put myself there when I'm working out and working on a certain muscle. I'm visualizing that muscle growing. I'm saying I don't need to spend a lot of time on this in terms of like, most people when they're doing a show, you're getting ready like a year out. I said 50 days before. I know I wasn't in horrible shape, but I'm like, I'm going to make this happen. So I completely put myself in the state, and it's kind of taken me, I think, back from uh, making videos a lot because I'm burned out. It's like I got my monthly clients, so I have time for those instead of setting my time. The sessions that pop up, I do those, and then it's like researching, reading. It's like granted, I know how to manifest, but I think anything in life that you're working on and you're making it a part of your life, it's your job to learn more about it, to look at all aspects of it. So I'll continuously read the Bible and Neville and listen to Joseph Murphy and Reverend Ike on online. Hear some Florence Scovel Shin's audiobook. So I still put myself in this, but it's like a lot of it I feel like I've detached from because I've become so embodied into now this competition. I mean, look at me, I'm all sunburned up, trying to tan up for it. And, it's very hard when you're doing multiple things, but it's kind of like the thing, look at the hat, abundant as fuck, right? So when you're shifting into a state of abundance too, what does that look like? You're probably watching videos about the cars you're going to drive, the homes you're going to live in. You're looking at magazines about it. I mean, these are all things I do too. And it's like more money comes in, I'm doing better as a coach. I mean, I'm not enough to go full time yet, but to me, I mean, that's something on my manifestation list. Get more clients, and I've been getting more clients. So I appreciate all them. I love them. Thank you guys for supporting me. I appreciate everyone who's been here. I mean, and like used to be forever to make money on the channel. Now it's like almost every video I'll post is $1. And most people say, "Oh, it's only $1." Yeah, I got a day job and stuff still, but to me that's big. The little victories given thanks when you have nothing is that whole state of what do they say in the Bible? For those who have everything, more will be given. For those who have nothing, more will be taken away. Right? So I'm grateful for the little things, and I know more is going to come to me. And if it doesn't come right away, I'm not impatient and freaking out. I'm trusting the process. I understand that it's going to work out in my favor. But I guess I'm a little bit off topic now. But just embodying the state, and I guess that's where my answer where I've been. Why we're only doing the Monday lives. It's like I'm going to the gym and I'm just absolutely killing my body in there till failure, and then I'm eating, resting, and like just focused on that. But I'm still here for this, so it's finding a balance. And I mean, I only got 5 weeks out anyway. So for the next 5 weeks, we will for sure have our lives. If you're a coaching client, you will for sure have your sessions. And if you want to get sessions, there's still room open for that. And we do have the seminar coming up on the 23rd of this month. Send me an email if you want to do that. That is at 10 a.m. the 23rd of June, Central Standard Time. and we'll get together on a Zoom, and I'll make a poster about it too. I keep saying it, but I'll make a poster and I'll post it like every day so everyone remembers. I'm here. Always look forward to your Monday lives. Well, we look forward to having you here, Josh. Welcome in, brother. So, yeah, like I said, we'll continue doing the Monday lives. I want to make more videos today. I should have some time. It's kind of crazy. There's one time where it's like you're thinking when you're manifesting your SP, oh, will she be around more and stuff like that? I mean, pretty much this week SP's living with me because we got a little heat wave in Chicago, and her AC's out, so she's here. So it's pretty nice. But she's at work right now. Today's my off day. So we're just focused on manifesting an abundant life. And I wrote a little list of things I wanted to talk about, like fear, and fear being a powerful emotion. This is something that I've been talking about and we've been talking about for maybe about the past month now. And I want to say that fear being a powerful emotion, it is very similar to excitement. Fear and excitement are very similar emotions. And like I even said, even the physiological responses you get while you're in one of those states, you're either like nervousness is like your hands are sweating, stuff like that. Your eyes are twitching. They're more like you're wide like this, and your muscles are tensed, and you're in a panic. But when you're excited about something, it's the same thing. You're like shaking a little bit. Your muscles are tight. Your hands are sweating. Your eyes are big. Like something good's coming. But fear has that same response. Something bad's coming, and you're like on the lookout for it. So it is the same thing. They're both in inspection. But that's why you have to be very careful what you fear. And if you can, flip that fear into excitement for something else, which is changing the way you look at things. Change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? Like I'll give a little story. I mentioned this one a while back, but I wanted to make sure I didn't give too much energy into this manifestation. So in my line of work, we work around basements and stuff, and it's right by the lake and the river. It's downtown Chicago. So every building in downtown Chicago, and I don't know about other places, but I will tell you this: I've worked in multiple buildings. There's roaches in all of them, in the basements at least, because you're by the sewer. You're under the 11. What's up, Courtney? Welcome in. You're what am I saying? You're under the water level, right? So there's roaches everywhere. So I've always had this fear since I've been working in that industry. What if I get infested? What if you bring them home? So I've always left my boots at work, stuff like that. And at work, they were the one guy was freaking out. He's like, he really doesn't like roaches, and he's like, man, and he was complaining about it. So I started thinking about it more. But then I find out somebody that I was hanging out with at their house, they had them, and I was like, oh fuck. So I'm wondering, is it going to be in my house? And I've never had it. House I grew up in, never had them. Here, never had anything. So I was freaked out. I'm like, I don't want to get infested, nothing. But I kept thinking about them, like, what if they get in, and how would they be in? And I was visiting this person a lot, so it's like, oh shit, like I don't want to bring this home. And sure enough, the one day me and my brother were getting ready to go somewhere. He's like, hey, what's this by the door? Is this like we get these, I think they're called weevils or whatever. They're like little fucking beetles or something. I don't know what they look, these weird little bugs. They kind of look like them. And I look and I'm like, I work downtown long enough. I'll tell you right now, from across the room without my glasses on, I know what the fuck that is. So I was in panic, but I'm like, no. And then my brother goes, hey, let's say somebody else had them. And this is where my brother comes in as a better manifester than me. He goes, let's say somebody else had them. They bombed for him and they ran this way. And because it was right by my front door, ran into my place and died right there because he was already poisoned. And then I'm like, yeah, we'll go with that. But I didn't believe it. So it's like, but you know what? You don't have to believe your manifestations. You don't have to believe your affirmations. I was just switching. It's like, okay, you accept the reality that could be. Okay, if it's here, then I got to take action. I'll take action when it comes. But until then, stressing about it until it shows up doesn't make any sense, especially something that's not even in your reality. Stressing about it until it arrives doesn't make sense because you're almost expecting, again, for that thing to show up. So anyway, this happens. I switch my mindset, like my brother says, and it's like, oh, you know what? There was only one. There would be more, blah, blah, blah. I kept looking for reasons to show, but there's nothing. And I go out through the hallway over here, and I'm like, I see dead ones along the hall. I'm like, some motherfucker bombed, and it hit here, and then luckily it died, and there was nothing else. And that was like a month or two ago. And I've cleaned the house a lot since then, and there's nothing. So, but I was thinking about that. I was like, man, that was something I feared for years. Then I found a justified reason, and then I kept talking about when I found out that person had it. I was like, oh, well, you know what? I'm friends with an exterminator. I'll ask, and my exterminator friend tell me all these things, and that freaked me the fuck out. So it put me in this state where it's like, then I had to, like, if you're blessed enough where you have someone else, that's why I said build a manifesting community, get a manifesting partner, stuff like that. People who are on this mindset and, work. Like, if you, there's still times where it's like, there are things I struggle with, and it's like, nope, I've got a reality now where other people know the same thing as me, and they'll switch my mindset. So it's the same thing. Like I said, we're all in this together. We're a team. But that was an example, success story, if you will, of fear showing up at my front door, literally, and then getting rid of it by just switching the way I look at things. No, you know what? It was somewhere else. And then whatever story you tell is the story. Like, otherwise, I would be sitting here right now, sitting on top of this chair. My feet would not be on the ground if this story was was true. So let's see. Well, good morning, guys. Good morning, Queen, Miss Inked. Good morning to all. Yeah, so I thought I was going to put the road story. I thought that'd be kind of funny. But basically, yeah, you do always attract whatever you fear. So whatever you're thinking about predominantly, whether you believe it or not, like I was like, nah, my place is clean. This, that. I had all the reasons why logically, but the thought of it in my house, boom, shows up. Okay, now you better switch that shit off, because the more you persist in that, well, you're going to get what you fear more. So I had to stop and remove myself from that. Morning, Lord Mystic. Good morning, Lord Austin. How are you, sir? I'm getting a little dehydrated right now, guys. I'm 11 minutes in. I have not stopped talking the entire time, so it's pretty good. Usually, I got my little breaks of like, and I'm off base today. But you know what? I don't affirm that. I don't feel that way. I embody something better. Glad you're doing good, brother. Let's see. Well, speaking of success stories, I'm not going to. I got actually 2 people in here right now. I see what success stories are. 3. Yeah, I see 3 people with success stories in here. But I'll be vague when I tell the stories. I'm going to tell some success stories at the end of the video or the live, whatever we're doing right now. But I do want to make some videos. I do have another success story too. I got to write that one down because I do like that one. I promised them I'd tell it. It's a money success. And I was involved in that one more directly. But yeah, and on that same token too, we're talking about changing the way you look at a problem, or changing the way you look at something, changing it from a problem to an opportunity. And I know it sounds like corny and shit like that. Oh, it's like, just change the way you look at it and it will change it. I can't explain this shit. Like I said, I would not be out here fucking putting my face out here if I didn't believe this shit or experience it. So my point is, when you change the way you look at things look at change, right? I'll keep saying it again and again until you start remembering me mumbling that and saying it a bunch of times. But when you change the way you look at things you look at change. I'll tell you a success story about that for this weekend and this morning. So obviously we have Father's Day weekend, right? Well, I go out and buy my dad 2 watches, and I'm like, okay, and they're not expensive ones. You guys know all my watches I wear, they're not expensive. Especially, you live somewhere where you might get robbed or whatever. Take my $30 watch. I'm not going to get killed fighting over it. And they look nice. I can't justify paying for a Rolex or anything, even though I've had opportunities where it's like, you could buy it. Oh, it's cheap. It's this. I'm not going to pay for it. It's just not something that, if this looks nice to me, then it looks nice to me. That's it. So anyway, and I guess maybe that's something I inherited from my dad. He's not one for like flashy stuff. I'm more for flashy stuff than he is, but not spending on stupid shit, right? If you got money, you'd rather spend it on a trip, family, friends, whatever. Anyway, I go Friday night. I was with Lily, and we're like, I forgot what we were doing, but we wound up over at her parents' house. So I was thinking that's Father's Day for her parents. Either way, I was going to be with my dad on Father's Day, because on Mother's Day, I celebrated before with my mom, and then the actual day we were with her family, and then it's like, we're with her family the day before, whatever. So that's what I was going to do. And I was like, in worst case, I might see my dad Saturday. I worked Saturday morning. Lily was posted up over here. She was standing at the pool and hanging out and enjoying the AC, right, with our little heat wave. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go hit the gym after work, and then I'm going to go see my dad. Well, he winds up getting stuck in overtime. So, okay, whatever. I'll see him on the actual day, right? And then I go on the actual day to text him. Oh, look, thumbs up. I don't know why it does that. This shit. If you guys saw the thumbs up, let me know. That does that on some of my coaching sessions. It will do that. I don't know why. Anyway, Father's Day comes along. My dad's not there, right? And he's got overtime again. I'm like, well, I won't see him. This morning, Lily sleeps over. She gets up early for work. I'm off today, so I'm like, cool. I'm gonna go hit the gym. Go to the gym. Can't find my headphones. And I'm like, I know, like I literally searched the whole house before we left. I'm like, probably in the car, not in the car. Get to the gym. I get out, search the whole car, not there. I'm like, I'm kind of annoyed. I just took my energy drink, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta hit the bathroom anyway. I gotta, that pre-workout's working its way through my system. I gotta get it. I gotta get this out. And you know what? My mom hasn't left for work yet. I'm gonna go over there and see how everybody is, and then just leave I had my dad's gifts with me. I'm like, I'll just leave them over there. But I kept picturing myself giving them the gifts like all weekend. I go over there. I'm only planning to take my dump and drop the gifts off and then roll back. So I'm over there at my parents' house, and then all of a sudden we hear the back door. My dad comes back in because he forgot something for work, so he came back. I'm like, oh, boom, here's the gift. So it wound up working out in our favor. I wouldn't have been able to see him on Father's Day anyway, and he wasn't going to be able to see me probably later on today. But the only time it would have lined up is because circumstances that seemed unfavorable and kind of pissed me off having to leave the gym because I got to go look for headphones now, and I know I had a pair over there. And then guess what? At the end of the day, the whole time I'm like, I know they're going to be right in front of my face. I come back home, and I go on my counter, and right in my counter where I was looking, they're sitting right there. So anyway, that's a little bit of changing the way I looked at a problem. It's like I always say, it's like when I'm getting annoyed, it's working out in my favor. Even if I can't see it and I'm pissed the fuck off, I say it's working out in my favor. I know it's working out in my favor, but you're pissed off. Just saying it, just affirming for things that you don't have yet, and just kind of putting yourself in that state. It's like I said, you don't have to fully believe this shit. The more you put your mind into it and just say, it's almost like a mantra. You say it again and again. You're brainwashing yourself a little bit. That maybe there is working out in my favor. Maybe this can happen, and you're doing that. So it's self-love and self-care will help manifest the next back. TBBBB, or how many B's are in that name? But TB, yes, that will. That's it's an oversimplified statement on it, but I want to keep manifesting simple. Because when you feel the love that you want to experience and you take care of yourself, how can you expect someone else to love you if you don't love yourself? So the way you see yourself, the way you treat yourself, that is how the world will treat you, SP included or X included. Everybody will treat you the way you expect to be treated. And when you do the work and you genuinely love yourself and you genuinely care about yourself, you will be able to manifest that person or any person you want and just be respected by a lot of people. So yes, it all starts there. That's their self-concept. Build that up. Gary out there in Greece, how you doing, brother? Good morning, Greek Gary. Yeah, I'm waiting on, we have a possible surprise guest. He wound up running behind schedule. I was going to bring somebody on to tell a SP success story, but I'm not ruling it out yet. He texted me that he was at the doctor, but I was trying to get a hold of him earlier, and he said he was down for it yesterday. I'm like, whatever, this is working out in my favor. Reminds me of a podcast I did with him years ago when we were doing a comedy channel that he showed up, or me and him were doing it, but we had somebody else show up in the middle of the podcast, and it was just one of those laid-back chill sessions, and then he wound up showing up anyway. So I told him, I'm like, my doors are locked, but I'll see your text here and there, and let me know. We'll make it happen. I always drink my coffee out of a straw. That's a must. Dude, just got myself a laptop in case. Got myself a laptop case now on my way to watch the sunset. And have a shisha, just listening to their live while you're talking. Nice. Sounds like a good day. Damn, yeah, you're way ahead of us because it's like barely noon over here, like 2 hours before noon. But let's see. We'll jump right back into our little. I got a little list today. I'm trying to be more organized. Whenever I do, whenever I do gratitude, it can't. Hold on. Why can't I scroll this? Whenever I do gratitudes, if I can't think of anything, I say it's all working out in my favor. There you go. That's true. That's why you go general with it sometimes. Let's see. So yeah, basically I was going to tell you that story, and it's like the stuff with Discord. It's like, also guys, if you're having problems with the Discord, please email me. Please write it in a comment. You're not going to not going to make me think, oh, there's something wrong. Send me something if you can't get on Discord. I saw a bunch of people join. I don't know if they didn't know that it was like a paid Discord and then just didn't join after that, which is fine. But if you tried to get on and it wasn't working, let me know, because I got to figure something out. I know Courtney was having some problems, but we have people in the Discord already and it's working. So that's why I'm trying to see if you're not interested, no big deal. I don't care. But if you are interested and you're trying to get on, I got to figure something out and I got to know if there's a problem. But no one's reported a problem. So maybe I'll make a community post. But if you're here now and you've tried, please let me know. Like I know Courtney already told me. Yesterday, I affirmed SP called me. Then about 30 to 40 minutes later, SP called me. There you go. Manifestation is instant, brother. Haven't heard from her since Thursday. She ended up butt dialing me from her personal, and I overheard a conversation between her and her sister about pregnancy, still persisting to be together, but haven't gotten there yet. I got anxious because I thought she was talking about her being pregnant. Oh yeah, don't overthink it, bro. Josh, don't go to the point like the worst case scenario with, oh well, because like I said, whatever's happening in the background is whatever you assume is happening in the background. So you don't want to get caught in the thoughts of, oh, she's thinking about if she's talking about pregnancy, so maybe she got pregnant and it's not mine, and we're never going to be together. Don't think about that. Don't because I know how people could spiral because I've been through every fucking spiral that you could be through. Oh, and I just see that she said no. It was really her foster sister who she was talking to. I texted her and she was on the phone with me. She hung up and told me that she didn't know. I asked her if she was pregnant. There you go. Well, see, no, it works out in your favor. So, but yeah, don't give any attention to that. Don't whatever I said, like I said before, whatever you're thinking is happening in the background is what's happening in the background. So don't overthink and feel like, there's a problem or something like that. You always assume the best is happening in the background. But yeah, like I said, everything like manifestation is instant. Who was it? I was working with someone the other day. We had and I'm gonna keep it anonymous too, but I was working with a client the other day, and his circumstances were he has some communication with SP. It's a work related thing, and when they're communicating, it's mainly about work, but it's no longer like the dynamic they wanted. But I told them, you know what, stop. When you think about that, when you assume the message comes through, it's not work related, it's flirting, whatever. So like in the 3D, you're having that boring conversation that you don't want to have. In the 4D, you're like, you send a message in your mind, like you're having two conversations at once, but you're using the real feeling of that text going off that you feel, oh, okay, that text went off. She's texting me. It means this. And she wants me to hang out with her and this and that. And then everything we worked on for what he wanted to experience with her at a conversation that he wound up seeing for the best, had the business conversation, nothing to do with relationships or anything like that. At the very end of it, stuff that he was saying about complimenting his body, hanging out with her. It's kind of a long distance thing. She invites him to go this summer. When are you going to come see me? When are you going to train me? You're looking good. Boom, boom, boom. All the stuff. But it was about 2-3 weeks of like we were working on it to change his mindset of it. And you know what? It turned out to work out just fine, and I'm proud of him for that. And that's a little success story I'm getting ahead of. But I got a little list of people's success stories, so I'm trying to include those on Mondays too, because I know some people love success stories, some people don't. I always liked hearing them, but I try to limit them sometimes because hearing someone else's success story doesn't necessarily mean you'll have a success doing the same thing. It means that you need to find something that works. You need to find how. That's why I'd rather give you the lessons on how to do it, and you investigate for yourself and figure out what you need to do. Let's see. But anyway, yeah. So that was something that happened within 2-3 weeks, and it's like, okay, boom, it switched to that. Now, as long as, like I said, there was that in between gray area too. When it was me and Lily going through our stuff, it's like she's interested, she's not. It's romantic, it's friend zone, it's not friend zone, it's friends with benefits. But what am I going to get? And it was this whole up and down, and it's like contact, no contact, contact, no contact. If you're in no contact too, remember this. You're like, so many people say, I'm in no contact. When was the last time we talked to them? 2 weeks ago. No, that's not no contact. That means you haven't heard from them in 2 weeks. Me and my best friend, like I always tell you, like he was texting me earlier today. We were texting a lot the past few days, but then it's been like 2-3 weeks since we talked. I wouldn't say me and him are in no contact. The other week, Lily had a bunch of stuff going on. I had a bunch of stuff going on. We literally didn't talk for like 2-3 days, but not because we didn't think about it. It's like we're tired, working doubles. I'm doing the training for the show, and it's like I'm there. I'm dialed in. When I'm in the gym, I'm not texting no one. I'm not focusing on nothing. I'm dialed in there. I'm taking my client calls. That's with the monthly client, it's like 1 hour, but sometimes it goes over. The other clients go over a little bit. So it's like I got client calls. I got stuff I'm trying to do with my family. I'm doing all these other things. She was experiencing some things. So I'm like, I'm not worried about it. But we didn't talk for 2 or 3 days. People would say, oh, that's no contact. It's not no contact. It just means you haven't spoken. So look at it that way. That's just that changing of the words and the phrases can make you feel like, oh my God, we're in no contact versus, oh yeah, I just haven't heard from you. Switching that little phrasing and stuff like that can be a big difference. So that's something else I want to say. Um, any tips on wavering and feeling a little crazy when imagining constantly? Yes, Dan. Another tip for it would be take a break. Not necessarily meaning like how much do you think about like when you're with somebody? How much do you think about them? Lily will pop in my head for a few times throughout the day, like, oh, this reminds me of her, or I should send her this video, or whatever. But in the time apart, I learned, do I really need to send you this video, or I would send it in my imagination. So it's like that was another thing. It was like I would see a video that reminded me of her. I would imagine sending it to her, and I would imagine what her response would be, and I would imagine feeling how it feels to send her that. And then I'd go about my day because you can't spend your whole day. Like if you're with the person, you're not spending your whole day like just obsessed with, oh, are they thinking about me? Are we getting back together? Are we like, no, you're not. I'm trying to make my hat straight. I don't even know which way this camera's inverted. You're not. You don't need to be imagining constantly because I know that what you're saying, Stan, it could make you feel like you're going crazy. So take a break. What are your hobbies? What are your passions? What do you do for fun? What goals do you have in life? Work on those things. Like I said, I have somebody come in possibly today who could tell a success story, and he didn't even know manifesting at this time, but his technique was essentially, I mean, if he comes here, he could tell you more in-depth stuff. But from what I know from him, I never manifested Lily at this time. I didn't even meet Lily for like 2-3 years after this. I seen him manifest his ex, who is now his wife with a 2-year-old child, like through a crazy set of circumstances. But every night he would journal and talk about his day. He would put the real things that happened that were good. He would revise the bad and make them good. And he would talk about his relationship with her, even while in actual no contact for like months at a time. So, and then there was a third party involved too, I believe. So he's going through all these circumstances, but he keeps his mind distracted. That's his only technique. He's doing that right before bed to relax and calm himself. Throughout the rest of the day, he always had a thing for classic cars. He starts buying and flipping classic cars, buy them, restore them, flip them. He gets really into mechanics, becomes a good mechanic. He was never, I think that he had interest in it and he'd done a little bit, but he became a really good mechanic and working on his stuff. He buckled down at his day job. He worked a ton of overtime. He made good money. He started making some investments. He started making a bunch of money, elevating himself, changing up his wardrobe, just feeling good about himself and elevating himself. And I do believe that no contact, because it was a long time. I was friends with him then, but I was going through my own stuff, not SP related, but that one may have been 6 to 8 months. But in that time, he made a lot of money. He had a lot of fun. And yes, he was hurting, but when he would imagine the good things. He would just say, okay, he was in that state where it's like, okay, if it's not happening, it's not happening, but I'm good with whatever happens. So I hope he comes on today. I know, like I said, I know he's at the doctor. He texted me. I said, well, text me when you're here. We'll leave. Open the door and let Oliver sit in the chair until then. And I just realized we didn't even have a cigar yet. One of the best tips you ever gave me was flip it, and as soon as bad thoughts happen to me, make it good somehow. Exactly, Courtney. Yeah, that's another way too that Stan can deal with it is flipping bad thoughts and making them good. So literally, like I said, like that story with the roach. Like you see one roach. My brother helped me flip that story. He's like, yes, somebody else bombed it. Now it got into your house. Why else is it at the front door? So it's like, okay, cool. I had to flip that story. No matter how much I didn't believe that shit, it's like, no, I work around these things, and I was just hanging out with somebody that had them. This probably came from me. And then it's like, no. He goes, why would you assume that? You're Mr. Positive Manifesting guy. I'm like, yeah, But then I'm like, what? I just have to revise, get rid of it. Because no, because it's already done. And I'm like, God damn, playing my own game. So, like I said, flipping that story, no matter if you believe it or not, just the act of flipping it or consciously changing it has now removed the tension. Even for as little time as it is, you remove the tension from that negative to a positive. In that little bit of time, you at least felt good in that time that you thought about it. How can I make her unblock me? How long it could last? So here's the thing, Julia. I can't tell you a time. If you go back to Neville's stuff, if you read the Stoics, if you read the old school manifesting coaches, if you read the Bible, if you read any of these things, there is no time to when it's going to happen. It's going to happen when you appoint it. And the whole point of all this is we're not sitting here like manifest, and then they're like, oh, I love this person, I'm black. That's not what's happening. You're shifting your consciousness. You're changing that. No, I actually love and forgive this person. The old set of things, the circumstances that created this and make me feel this way, you're taking the power away. These circumstances and this person no longer make me feel that lack, because when you don't feel that lack, if you feel unblocked, if you feel communication, if you have inner conversations, like that's something I would suggest to you, inner conversation or scripting dialogue between yourselves because you want to speak to this person, right? So you go and do that. You're shifting yourself into a reality where you have contact with that person versus focusing, I need to change this right now. Because then what happens? You said, how long will it last? I'll tell you what, you could do everything, but if you didn't, you could play the game where it's like, I'll manifest. Because look, why else did I manifest an SP back so many times? Because I played the game. I knew how to manifest. I knew that it wouldn't take long. I knew I could do it fast. And I started believing it, like, because obviously 6 times you start to get better at it, you start to see patterns, you start to pick shit up. And it's like, okay, I know what's going to happen here. But then I would start getting stuck in old story. I remember stuff. I get insecure. I would go back from this confident, cool, collected guy to this, where you at? Do you want to hang out? Do you want to do? And like, I become in the 3D trying to control the 3D once I have it. So SP comes back into your life. Are you trying to control the situation now in the 3D? Like, are you still going to bed with positive thoughts? Are you still doing affirmations? Are you still doing things to keep your mind right? Because these are life techniques, these tools and tips and manifesting techniques. The techniques don't manifest, but you do. They're just tools to help you manifest, right? And manifesting is simply changing your consciousness, removing attention from what you don't want and putting attention on what you do want and becoming and embodying that state. Like I said, doing a bodybuilding competition is taking me away from the channel a little bit because I've embodied that state of you wake up, you don't eat, you do your fasted cardio, whatever, like you hit your workout in the morning, your workout at night, you go through your work day, you eat the proper food, and then you go out with, like, I'm out with Lily. I can't eat that. I'm sorry. Like, we could go to dinner, but I'm not going to eat. I'm going to eat in the car, and then that's it. I'm not eating for the rest of the night. I'm going to limit my drinks. So, like, I've embodied that state. I change who I am, and I die to that old self of, the fat guy who just all about pleasure and eating whatever the fuck he wants when he wants. And I become this, right? So you're moving yourself from, I'm no longer this person who is blocked, who is not worthy of speaking to this person. Because how long does it last is up to you. If you don't believe it, you can keep it after it arrives, and you get insecure and you feel like, what if I lose it? What if I lose it? What if I lose it? I'm telling you from the guy who's been there and done it, it will be lost. So let me get a coffee real quick before we continue. Yeah, no contact is definitely not when you haven't heard from someone in a few days. That's like saying any friend I've had spoken to in weeks is a no contact. Exactly, Gary. Yeah. So it's like no contact is definitely not, I haven't spoke to you in a few days, a few weeks. And I would take it a step further though. It's like even a few months, because I've got friends I haven't talked to in 4 years. And like, that was something I wrote down in the mini manifestations. We're going to start talking again. And I keep telling the success story because that one was one that blew me away, because I'm like, yeah, I'm stuck on this. Boom, they come back, we start talking. And then I always used to visualize meeting up with them with a girlfriend, because those are 2 guys that I was friends with. They always had girlfriends, and I was always fifth wheel, and I always hated it. And Lily never really met none of my friends, so she went out. We all had a great time together. It was a cool triple date. So, that was something else. Everything you ask for, you will receive. But this happened 4 or 5 years down the road. So then some people will be like, well, it's not worth it because is it not worth it? Would you rather just, hey, God, universe, take it back. I don't want it, thanks. I wanted it 5 years ago. It's worthless to me now. You could be like that, but I'm not upset about things not happening in a certain way that I desired. I know my desire comes to fruition no matter what. Let's see. Julia, I did inner conversations and affirming. I got unblocked and I got contact after 10 months. Yeah, Ink does have that good success story. I don't know if you've ever posted that on your channel, Ink, but I know I have a video where I talk about that on this channel. 10 months, so much time, but if it's the only way. Well, Julia, I'll say this too. It's not the only way. Ink didn't start when she goes, I was in no contact. I was just saying, Ink's going to specify. When I started affirming, it was only about 2 months or less. I would say it was less. I think it was about 5-6 weeks for Inked, but it might have been 2 weeks. I mean 2 months. But it's about, do you assume it's going to happen fast? Do you assume it's going to last? What are your assumptions on the situation, Julia? It's not like, you know, oh, I'm going to get this and it's going to take 10 months. If it took Ink 10 months, even if she was affirming for all 10 months, which she was not, but if she was affirming for all 10 months and it took her that long, and you say it's going to take me 10 months, you've now created the rule that it takes you 10 months. I saw people have success in 2 weeks. When I saw that, I was already working for about 8 weeks, but then I said, and I'm going balls to the wall. I said, you know what? I'm going to buckle down and go more balls to the wall. And I know this is going to work, and I'm going to do this, and it's going to happen, and boom, it did. But I created the rule. It happens in 2 weeks. And now there was a time where I tried to apply that rule again, and then it was 3 weeks. And then at the third week, I said, oh, wow, it's only been a week. And then at the fourth week, wow, it's only been 1 week. And then it took, still that was not one. It went up to about 10 weeks, but it's always been within 2 to 10 weeks. The first time it happened, it was like a week or two. Second time, it was about 2 or 3. And then third time, about 4, maybe 5. Because every time I felt like it was harder and harder. And then this last summer, I think it was like when everything finally clicked and like I worked through everything, and it was like, wow, okay, that was probably 10 weeks as well. But the first month and a half of that was just anger and resentment and questioning this and what am I doing? And then it was like I had to relearn, go back and rewatch my videos, rewatch what I did and relearn where did I go wrong? What was my, like, if everything bad that happens to you in your life is your fault, everything good that happens to you in your life is your fault. So I had to go and change all these things and make my life better. This non-for-profit needs to help me make profit by not fucking calling me during a video. See why I stopped doing stand-up? Negative self-talk. Somebody punish me. Throw me in the brig. I shouldn't say stuff like that. Morning to Oliver. How many hours a day affirming for SP in order to successfully achieve it? So Julia, you're asking, again, this is nothing, I'm not, because everyone's been there. I've been there. We've all been there. You're trying to learn. You're not sitting there all day like, that's why I said you're like, manifest. I've been thinking for 8 hours. Yes. Now it happened faster. It's not what happens. Affirming, visualizing, they do not manifest. You manifest. Your feelings of the situation become fact. Feeling is the secret, as Neville Goddard said. So we are using affirmations, visualizations, the sleeping techniques, the scripting, all these things are tools that we are using to feel that we have already achieved that which we want to achieve. So right now, I want you to tell me, how does it feel to have contact? What are you talking about? How is the conversation? What is the vibe of it? How do you feel now that that's over? Do you remember when? Start thinking about this feeling you have now of no contact. You're remembering when there was no contact. I haven't had contact. I remember back when I used to freak out and I was trying to learn from Mystic Manifesting and we were in the chat and everybody was helping each other. I remember when, like you're looking back on this moment from a future date where everything is done, but you don't need to know the date. I mean, that's why, look, somebody affirms they're going to get contact with their SP, 1, 2, 3, boom, they affirm it and it happens the next day or for 30, 40 minutes earlier. Who was that? Was that Josh that said that earlier, talking about, oh yeah, and then she butt dials him. The other client I had was like 2-3 weeks and like, boom, that one conversation happened, but it's not a full manifestation yet, but it happened. And, you know, Mitzi's not here right now because I believe, she's leaves. Mitzi's out of town tomorrow, I think. But the one thing that we talked about too was she goes on the Parrot app, and I'll use the Parrot app too. But it's not like we're not sitting there like I've listened to this 851 times today, so I'm 851 affirmations closer to my manifestation. If you're trying to get closer or achieve a manifestation, it is just out of your reach. Okay, go take the line from the Bible. Pray as though you have received already, and it shall be yours. That's exactly what it is. And now I will say this too. How many times do I say that Bible quote? A lot of times. This is just going to be a little derivative, but some jabroni fucking comments on one of my videos like, "Oh, all the spiritual stuff comes from God, and you should be like praying and stuff on there." That's not what this channel's about. Yes, I come from a Catholic background, a Christian background. I read the Bible, but I'm welcoming to everybody. How many different cultures do we have on here? That's why I go in the middle. So if you're on here, whoever, I don't even know his name, But that fucking Goomba, get your cheeks clapped, bro. Don't tell me how to run what I do because I have success. I'm so successful. I don't have time to sit on other people's videos and make comments that are helping people. So anyway, I knew I was going to say something. That's actually a note on here. It says, "Don't make comment about that guy," but I had to. That's my downfall. Sometimes I have to always talk. And then if you're somebody who believes in all that astrology stuff, that's what I always get told. Oh, you're an Aries. You have to say whatever you want. I don't know. I don't believe in any of that stuff, but I will say it's a true statement about me. I always have to say what I want. I have no filter. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I'm missing a lot of stuff happening here. Julia, if you're worried about time, you're not living in the end. 100% ink. Only when I thought of him or had negative thoughts. Now my nails got in the way, Courtney. Yeah, there you go. So your ink is right on the money right there. It's their negative. You're only really doing these techniques when you're feeling negative. They will unblock you when you take them off the pedestal, having them in a power back. I like what Courtney's saying right there too. Yeah, because when they're up on a pedestal, this seems like something out of reach. It seems like something so far away. So it has to always just be far away from you. Exactly. Kick that booty off the pedestal and get yours up there. Make them happy. Yep, there you go. You can't. Oh, is that? Make you happy. They can't. Exactly. At the end of the day, this is a self-love journey. Loved Ink's channel. I'm going to catch up on videos in the gym today. I do have to catch up on Ink's videos too. That's my self-admission. Definitely let go and need for it and live in that. Exactly. Yeah. If you don't need this thing, that means you have it. That's what's implied in the subconscious meaning. Pick up the phone. Wait a minute. It did say toll free, yeah, or nonprofit. That wasn't you. Hold on. Let me finally light this. I'm watching you feeling abundant in that hat. Well, race car, get your booty up here. I just talked about your success story. I told them you might be a surprise guest, and I just spit all over myself. But that's all right. It's working out in my favor. I needed something to moisten my shirt because it's wrinkled. Let's see. Inked your hair and light. Oh, wait, this is just about makeup stuff. I don't understand none of that. We've all been there many times. You'll get through this and be so happy when you learn the skills. Exactly. Just like Courtney said, at the end of the day, you're going to feel a lot better that you learned all these things. Oliver might be banging on the door, or maybe it's the ghost. I exercised the ghost out of here, and I exercised the ghost out of Race Car Randall's home as well. I think you would be proud. Just change your thoughts, Julia. They have already reached out to you. Be the person in the end. Contact mentally, even when it feels like a lie. You're searching for a new version of them. Exactly, Josh. It is. It's almost like I said. How many times have you heard me say, like, this Lily is not the Lily that I fell for. It's an even better version of the Lily that I fell for. And I've also experienced the worst. Just like at the same time, I can't talk shit. She's experienced a way worse version of me. You guys see me as who I am on here, but think about all your worst moments with SP. I've been there. That's why I can relate with you guys. That's why, like, when I get clients, like, the thing they always tell me is you're so relatable. Because almost there's a few exceptions, but almost every situation I get thrown, I've done it. I've been there, and half the time I've been worse than what the client's going through. So if I can dig myself out, you can dig yourself out. Like I said, if I can do it, you can do it, and we're all in this together. I still need to find the Parrot app. I don't think it's too different from BandLab, though. I don't know what BandLab is, but literally just throw it on your phone. It's on the App Store. It's got a pink bird on it. You can repeat yourself. Oh my God, I want to say they contacted me. So, derivative of jabroni and Goomba in the same sentence. Yeah, I was looking for Goomba first because I always say Goomba, but jabroni jumped in my head. So I got to, what'd you call it? Hold on, I lost my train of thought. Cabroni. Yeah, there, I like that one. Let me tell this guy, get his cheeks up here. He's here. Really gonna make me unlock my whole phone to send the message. Yeah, I hadn't talked to since Thursday. Affirmed SP called me yesterday for 10 minutes tops. Just keep living my life as if I was doing it and I enjoyed my life right after. Lived in the present. Exactly, John. That's how you do it. You can't just spend all day on this one thing. It's going out and living your life after. All the fucking seashell bars are not open till the evening. Pissing me off now. Somehow it's working out in your favor though, Gary, right? Like I said, you could be pissed off, but as long as it's working out in your favor, watch, you're gonna walk into something that you find amazing. I don't know, something amazing is about to happen to you right now, and you're gonna write it in the comments. And boom, it showed up when I released the need. Exactly, because if you have something, you don't need it because you already have it. Just knew it was going to change in the 3D because it already did in the 4D in my mind. Exactly. You're right there, Josh. It's right on the money. And look at that. And you had movement already, major movement. I call it a success story. I call any kind of movement a success story. Nick, I should be getting the Mystic Tank this week. I will post a pic on Discord. Perfect. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I will say that that thing did take a long time to get my merch when I ordered it. That's why, I mean, I never really tracked them that hard. But if it was delayed, I got to look into so why. I got the apps up here. I'm finally sitting down in front of the computer for the first time in a week. So I'm going to see what's going on. Like I said, if anybody has problems with the Discord, please let me know. Like I need to figure that shit out, but I got to know what the problem is first. Oliver walks in with a lit stage bundle in his mouth. Get out, Ghost. Gary, view yourself getting invited to a super billionaire yacht for a shisha. Okay, I just sat down, finally found a bar. Eat first, and then she's there you go. And now you're going to meet like some smoking hot like waitress, and she's going to ask you out. She's going to ask you to go get shisha with you. Oh, let's see what he says. I'm going to come on the next live. I want to look presentable. My barber has been out of town in the next live. Oh, you know what? I got to get him one of these hats because my race car, look at my hair. It is horrible right now. I mean, I just left the gym. I just threw on an old shirt. And this is the one time where I haven't really prepped myself, but I think the people will really enjoy your story. I'm writing to you, but I also don't know if you're actually listening or you just have the video on. Two questions when it's Q&A time. You could ask the questions now. I will say this. Well, I'll talk about this thing real quick, and then I'll answer Courtney's questions because I go back. I always read everything. Let's see. What did he just say? Oh, you're watching it too. Okay, yeah. So you're getting double responses. So I will say this. I have a close friend, and we're going to talk about this. Going through horrible anxiety and depression. This friend knew me when I was going through panic attacks. He was having a panic attack almost every day for a prolonged period of time. I believe it was a couple months. Didn't tell me. I just figured, he was out doing his business, doing what he's got to work on, right? And he's running a business and he's working a full-time job. So, I didn't bother him with whatever's going on. Well, the other day we started talking because there was an opportunity that came up where I could have bought custom-made cigars and sold them through here with the Mystic logo and stuff. And like a page reached out to me and everything. It just was not conducive to do business. I mean, at the end of the day, it would have ran me $800, and if I sold them for extremely exorbitant prices, I may have just graced $1,000. But after shipping and handling, I would have only made $100. Anyway, long story short, me and Mystic, or I'm Mystic. Me and this friend of mine were talking about his panic attacks, and I took the time. I mean, I turned the whole shit into it. He just had a little while to talk, and he said one thing that made me think that okay, he needs to talk more than this business deal. So on his ride to work, he didn't have very long, but we did it like a full-on like manifesting session. And the big thing I told him was you have to trust yourself that you've done everything you're supposed to. You don't need to overwork yourself like he was stressing about money. Well, we were able to. Here's one of the things that I do is with the sessions and stuff like that. I'm asking him all these questions to find out where his stress is coming from, right? So I find out that his wife she's no longer on the leave of absence. She was on leave of absence from work, bills are coming up, and you get stressed if you're the only one doing stuff sometimes. So he's stressed out, and I'm like, okay, he's stressed out. His job is a high stress thing. He's got to sell things. So I see all these things where it's like, okay, he's stressed because of that. And he thinks that he has to work more, but then he's also feeling like, maybe he didn't spend enough time with his family. And I can relate to this because here's me. How do I balance Lily, my friends, my family, this channel, make money, and have a day job? Like, there's so many things in your life. Life gets ahead of you. And I told him, I'm like, hey, listen, I've been there. I could get that anxiety and depression, but I've affirmed and I've, like I said, embodied a new state. I no longer have panic attacks. And I learned this before I even learned manifesting. I don't have them. If I feel them coming on, I detach. It is not important to solve any of these problems. But what's important is to regulate myself. I'm going to sit back, take some deep breaths, get myself in order. What is the easiest thing that is important to take on first? And now I'm only going to focus on that task, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to feel grateful for everything I have. I'm going to do gratitude. So basically, we go through this whole thing. I don't want to go through our entire session, basically. But, I identified what his problem was, talked to him about it, gave him some tips, self-regulating, like what is the thing you want to achieve in life the most? Okay, sometimes less is more. That's the whole point of manifesting is less is more. Yeah, you want to do a bodybuilding competition, you have to go to the gym. You want to start a business, you have to make, like if my business is this, I have to go design the merch and make sure the merch is going through. I have to monitor the Discord. I have to make the lives on Monday. I have to do videos. So I have responsibilities that go with this. But it's what I desire. So what goes along with your desire is I'm already doing the work and aligning. I'm doing what I can in the 3D world to align myself with that. In terms of SP, it's a little bit different, because that's another person and you have to change the way you see them and the way they see you in your mind. That's your self-concept of them. But, we kind of came up with a little strategy. And this was like almost 2 weeks ago, probably at this point, maybe a week and a half. He has not had a single panic attack since then. And, that's a success story to me. People were like, oh, unless your ex came back and begged you to let them suck your dick, they're like, yeah, that's the only time. This is why I put this videos are not approved for kids. And then not just the smoking. But let's say your SP came back and said, please give me that chode. I need it. Like that, not every success story is that, man. Like the success story is here's somebody struggling with anxiety and depression, trying to hide it. And we bring it out in the open. We find the problem. I acknowledge you, but I don't give you the power. And you take it away from there. Whatever has your attention has your mind. So whatever's stressing you out, remove your attention from it. And now, yes, because maybe that area of your life needs to have attention on it, I'm removing my attention from the negative aspect of it and putting my attention on the positive. So that's a success story I just wanted to touch on. It's not always SP shit. It's, let's see, even the contact, like, oh, what was perceived as no contact, switching that to, oh, we don't talk, we just haven't talked in a while, and we have contact now, and you're switching your information, and you focus on it, and you go live your life, boom, and now like Josh has that contact. And now, instead of saying that, okay, we had that contact yesterday, instead of going back to like, oh, we're still in no contact, no, you are now in contact. And if you don't hear from her today or tomorrow or the next day, you're not in no contact, you just haven't spoke. So it's changing the way you look at everything. Gary said, I am the hottie. Oh, I'm missing all this stuff. Oh, let's see, taking a break from yachts and the Greek hotties never. Oh, Gary's going to send me a picture. Oh, I got a new hat last week. And I said, good, I'll take the Mistake hat. And he said, the hell you will. That's my favorite hat. I got to send you guys another hat. Like SP said, me eavesdropping on her private conversation when she butt dialed me was an invasion of privacy. How do I flip that? Well, just like what I just said, because it definitely wasn't my intention. I mean, what I would say is you're removing your attention from that, right, Josh? So if you can't think of a good story to flip, yeah, you could flip it, but you could also remove your attention from it. That conversation never happened. If you need to put something as a placeholder in that particular, situation, I would say that she says, sometimes it takes me a second to think of one. It would be like, thank you for respecting my privacy. Just put that you hung up right away. That would be what I would do, is just move it to, I answered it. We had a good laugh about it. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe you heard that. No, but I'm not really pregnant. Like, just hear that. Remove the attention from that part. I mean, and if it really mattered, she wouldn't have had a whole ass conversation with you. Think about that too. You think of all the reasons why it's working out in your favor. Okay, it's good to bring that to light. Just like my friend with the panic attacks. You bring the panic attacks to light. We see our enemy. If you could see your enemy or your situation or your problem or your circumstance, if you could see it, you can fight it. And the best way to fight it is to remove your attention from it. It's not to actually fight it. But I need to know where it is so I can move away from it. And so I could create some distance, right? It's like a fight. I'm just creating distance between this. And then it's like, okay, here's my way out. Right there. There's my ride. We're at a bar fight, right? With our circumstances. And you see it right there? All right. Hold up. I see it. Oh, there's a better story. Dive in that car and get the hell out. So you're changing the story by removing attention to it. Remember, where attention goes, energy flows. So that situation is created, the more energy you put onto it and the more attention you put onto it. Glad to hear other people have had panic attacks. I thought it was just me. My assistant had to talk me down last night. Yeah, no, Courtney, they're bad. And I mean, this guy used to talk me out of them when I was going through them. And I was feeling like Tony Soprano sitting there where, Jesus Christ. Get me the fuck out of this hotel. I don't want to work here anymore. Can I repeat different affirmations? I have about 20. I think all of them are important. Julia, you could, like I said, you create the rules. My affirmations, like for money and abundance and stuff like that, they go all over the place. They're affirmations about this channel being successful. They're affirmations about my clients being successful. They're affirmations about my SP being successful. It's a whole success track. So whatever I want to see or put attention on that's successful, what's it called? Whatever. Sorry, I just read like 3 different things at once. I read something in the comments, a text there, and another message here. Yeah, but you're creating the rules. So you could, I've got like 20, 30 of them. My affirmations go on for 3 minutes and 47 seconds or something, and then they loop on the thing. So it's when I don't feel like listening to music, when I don't feel like listening to a podcast, when I don't feel like being in silence, because a lot of times I like to be in silence too, and I'm going around work or driving or working out or something or doing cardio, I'll throw them on and just hear them. And when I hear one thing, I jump into it, right? So it's like, I am the most successful coach on YouTube, right? Throw that one on there. What does that feel like? What does that look like? Okay. And the other ones are still playing, but I'm not listening to them. They're playing and my mind is taking them, but I'm listening to that one and I'm feeling it because feeling is the secret. Make panic attacks great again. Let's see. Tell your viewers a tip for panic attacks. Hold a piece of ice in their hands or apply cold water on the wrists and back of the neck. That's actually a good one. So, yeah. So my friend who was going through all this stuff, he's watching as well. And he just said, put the cold water on your wrist, hands, or back of your neck or something, cool yourself off, literally like cool down. One of the ones I've always used, a friend taught me about panic attacks, was take your tongue, press it to the roof of your mouth, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. And I took that and I use that when I meditate now. It's not even just for panic attacks, because when you're doing that, when you're focused on the breathing or you put the cold ice on yourself, your body's in shock with the cold water. It's in shock and you're focused on survival and what the fuck just happened. And you're reevaluating where you are. That's what the ice thing is. When you're focusing on the breathing, your attention cannot be supplying those problems anymore. Your attention is only supplying you and yourself and your thoughts. Hayden, what's up, brother? Definitely had a panic attacks until I took his butt off the pedestal. Like, dude, you're lucky I'm in your life. Exactly, Ink. Josh, you can feel that if she cares and addresses boundaries with you, it means she wants to maintain a better relationship with you. Sign that she can, that she cares if it bothered her. Exactly, Courtney. There you go. That's an even better story than I came up with. See, Courtney, you're growing better at all the changing the stories. So, like, states. Hayden, I'm not sure what do you mean about states, because I don't know if I missed something or sometimes the messages get deleted. Oh, you're welcome, Josh. Like I said, we're all in this together. We're all helping each other out. See, Courtney had a better example than me, but you take whatever one works for you. Josh, yes, it's Nick saying revision is an awesome for messed up conversation. Exactly. And then don't ever look at it like you messed things up, because you can't fuck this up. But try to minimize the things you fuck up. So, yeah, there could be issues, but you don't need to, focus too much on those. Change it to something better. Pick sent to your messenger. I'll take a look right now, Gary. Adro, what's up, brother? I love the Mystic Wolf in the blue. He knows what it's about. Let's see. Gary sent me something. Gary's got some nice views out there. Oh, I hate this inverted camera. It's Gary. We got what do you call it? I want to make sure that my other friend didn't send any other tips for people with panic attacks. Yeah, but no, I'm glad to see he has not gone through anything since then. Just a second, I'm gonna take a break from those. Make sure. Okay, so we got, and then and I'll touch on this real quick before I get into the questions. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, but I think we should focus on everyone's mental health awareness because it goes through. I get it. As men, we go through a lot of shit and we try to bottle it up. That's why I said my boy, he's holding it together. Why did I hold it together? It's not weak to pull your problems out and see them or to talk to your boy. Like, we all go through the same shit. So if you got a friend you can lean on and be like, hey, bro, listen, I'm going through some shit right now. Can I talk to you? And if they're a real one and they're a real friend and you assume they're a real friend, you could talk to it and work through it with them. And, whatever you're going through, the problem is not bigger than the rest of your life. Time will solve the problems, right? Yeah, I get the time isn't real and stuff. But going through, you just haven't given yourself enough time to figure out whatever problem it is. And as someone who's been in that dark place, who is ready to check the fuck out, do not check the fuck out. Men or women or anyone, do not check the fuck out, because where was I last year? Where was I last summer at this time? I was in a really bad spot. Where was I 10 years ago? No, it was 8 years ago. I was in a horrible spot. And it was like, it was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I was in a horrible spot where I didn't even give a fuck if I lived or died. And I've gone through those phases before. But look where you are now. Where was this channel when I started? I was just sitting in the basement with my corny ass Johnny Depp wannabe mustache and goatee, sitting there trying to make some videos on stuff. Then Inked and Mitzi and Yup, and everybody was like, oh, stay on this channel. Next thing you know, boom, I'm here now. Like, I would have never seen this. And then really it was something I wrote down. I wanted to be a motivational speaker. On one of my books when I was a teenager, I wrote down my goals for life. It was going to be the last goal on my list. But life doesn't work like that. Oh, I have to do this, then this will happen, and that will happen. No, I got what was ever easier. And I went through, it was kind of like something, the more problems you experience, the more chance that you have to become a better elevated version of yourself. Problems are actually opportunities to grow who you are. So there's no situation that is so bad that it's going to make you want to check out or shut down. There's always positivity. You never know where you're going to be in a year from now, but it's going to be a more positive place than where you are right now. So that was a note I wanted to make because I haven't made a video on that this month, but I wanted to make a video on it. There is no situation that's that bad. You could always work through it, and you could always find a better life. Let's see. Through my 2 questions about robotic affirming, ones where you spend maybe an hour going over and over and over the same sentence. What are your thoughts on that? My thoughts on that are like Courtney, it's the same thing I would say is whatever works for you, works for you. So what does that make you feel when you do that? Do you feel lack? Because for me, doing that technique, I would not do it because I'm going to feel, you said, what is it? Robotic affirming for how long did you say? An hour? I can't sit down and do an hour of it. I can't even I could say 1 or 2 affirmations, if I'm going through something, it's all work. That's why you can't fuck this up. It's all working out in your favor. I'm abundant as fuck. I always get whatever I want. Those real quick ones, it's and I sit down, like I said, I'm stressed the fuck out, and I'm like, you know what? It's working out in my favor. And I relax. Race car, I'm gonna put you on. He wants to do a FaceTime, but he wants to come on next week for a live one. I think you're off next Monday too. If not, you work afternoons, so we could do it. I'll bring you on in 1 second. I'm gonna answer the rest of these questions real quick. Let's see. Second question is, am I getting closer to my manifestation? Am I having more and more situations where I am affirming for things and it's popping up in other packages like other people? So I 100% know and believe this works, and things I'm saying in my head or specific people and situations are presenting themselves, but not the way I want. I don't know if that makes sense. I will affirm for somebody with a name and certain looks, but then it will play out in my 3D and somebody else with that same name and those looks. Yeah. So Courtney, what do you think that means? I'm saying this, and it doesn't. I don't want it to sound like lazy coaching or anything, but I'm telling you the way it is. I can't write the rules to your life. Only you can, and the rules to your manifesting. I can give you tips and tricks on what I would do, and you could see if they work for you. I would take those as signs that it's showing up and removing attention from the fact that you're getting close but no cigar, right? It's close but no cigar, and it's like, oh, I'm not getting what I want. You're still focusing on you're not getting what you want. You believe, oh, I can get close, and you're focused on the idea of I get close but not, I don't get exactly what I want. This weekend, SP said that I believe we're in a relationship and we're not. I feel I've done enough work to be in the state that I believe. What could be? Why is he reflecting it? Well, are you doing the work where you're vocalizing that, where you're vocalizing and you're telling the world and you're trying to convince yourself and everybody around you? Because listen, I've had this before with clients and I've had this with people I've worked with. You can convince me up and down the street that everything's working out in your favor and you're impressed and you believe it. But do you really believe what you're telling yourself? Do you really feel like a prize? Because if you're still on this person, they're still kind of the prize. And you know what? If you feel you've done enough work and you feel it's already done, now here's the patience part. Sit back and let it go. See, Zach, thank you, brother. Well, thank you, brother, for being here. I appreciate you. Johnny Depp wanted he must hit. All right, let's see. So this is going to be my friend. He was supposed to be here today. I'm going to FaceTime him right now because he wasn't able to make it. Just some things popped up. But he does love being part of the channel and stuff. I'm going to try and find a way to get him on here. He would tell you his SP story. Let me get the tripod so I can face him towards the thing. As you see, I didn't really, put myself together. I'm pink as hell from my, if you say am I pink or brown, I'm pink. I got burned not to a nice brown crisp. I'm pink. Just like all those comments on TikTok. Pink or brown. Let me light this up a little. Race car, if you're there. All right. Man, my hat's crooked as fuck. Why didn't someone say something? What if you just stopped all the techniques and just... Hey, there he is. I'll put you... What's that?
It's such a weird transition to go from watching on the channel to FaceTime.
Oh, I know. I thought you were going to do a random pull-up into the experience like we did when Tristan, back in the day with our podcast.
I'll be there on the next one
For sure. And I think that your story will help a lot of people if you want. So I'm going to put you here so everybody can see you and you can see what I see. This is Race Car Randall.
Face to face with the lovely fellow mystic.
All right.
I'm on my balcony stepping into the sun right now, so it's very pretty.
That's the best way you can be. That's why I'm so soaked up that I'm pink right now. Are they going to ban me?
I got some color lighting. It's so great to get some sun in right now,
Yeah. We got to appreciate the weather while we got it. Let me see. This inverted thing is killing me, this camera. Yeah, I got to get you one of these. What's it called? Everybody love these ones that's seen it. So I got to see how many people actually ordered them because they're, I know that Inked ordered a tank top. So she'll be posting up a thing of that on the Discord. Yeah, and I got the wolf on the back of it too. Let's see. How to deny reality without going crazy, trying to focus on God, but it's like my mind fights just to remember and look at the 3D. So, Adro, it's, part of it is living your life without it. It's like, okay, SP is not part of your life all day long, even when you're together, right? So you're just going to be chilling throughout your day. It's like when you feel the lack, that's when you affirm and when you do the techniques and you feel like we're together. If you want to see other people in the process, that ain't going to stop your manifestation because I didn't stop mine. I think you did the same thing. Didn't stop yours. You still got what you wanted. And like there's you have to like I gave the example of you earlier where it's like you went out and you started flipping cars, you started pursuing passions and dreams. You were hurting, you were in pain. I was sticking to the gym, I was in pain. But whenever you did scripting every night, and this is before either of us really knew about manifesting that much, and you did that, and there was no like trying to, because when you are manifesting, you're trying for something. It's not really like I think the benefit of not really knowing it, like that's when people are like, oh, before I knew about manifesting, my SP came back like that. It's like because you didn't know and you think there's rules and things like that. It's feeling. You were doing things to feel good. And so was I.
Yeah, and I mean, you're doing it already. Sometimes we don't even realize that sometimes like these things that help you like either calm down or try to get something in abundance. It was already there, and you're already doing it, and every single upside, even if it's minimal, becomes like your greatest self will bring it. So you really have to be careful, with your negativity and your positivity. Focusing on definitely on the positive for sure.
Yeah, exactly. 1 second. They said it's a little hard to hear. Do you guys hear them better now that I closed the window? We'll find out because they said it's kind of hard to hear you. I've been having problems with my phone, and I don't have the fucking Apple rips you off with this shit. Oh, you could hear them better. Okay, perfect.
Oh, okay.
It says,
My air conditioner's on, so hopefully they can still hear me.
yeah, no, my air conditioner's on right here, but I had the window open and the fucking cicadas are screaming.
That time of year. But yeah, I mean, everything I've ever wanted, I mean, I think I've talked about this with you as well, is that everything I've ever wanted, if I think about it, it's come in abundance.
Yeah.
No pun on the head. It's something like, okay, I want this. Everything since I've been a kid till now.
Yeah.
If there's a delay, I got it,
Yeah. They said get it a little bit closer, so I'm put you right here. Yeah, no, it was because me and you had that discussion before too, where it's like, yeah, we were like everything we ever wanted in life we got. And I said earlier in this live, like, if it took like my buddies that Count Kakula, when I haven't talked to him in 4 years, but I wrote down I'm gonna receive a text from him and this other guy, and it was just life got in the way. Same thing with me and you. It's like if I don't talk to you for a long time, I know at the end of the day, if someone said, Randy, okay, that's my best friend. That's it. Like, but I may not talk to you for a month. It's like, okay, I get you have a life, I have a life. And like when we do connect, it's like, hey, I need something, whatever. We got each other. That's it. Like, so I wouldn't say we're not in no contact. We just haven't spoken. So sometimes people will say, move him closer to the mic. All right, 1 second. Wait. Huh?
Is that better or worse?
Yeah, we'll try it like this. Wait, this fucking inverted camera, bro. I could hold it the whole time.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there for the next one.
Yeah.
To make things a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, it's working out in our favor. All right, let me try to cup the microphone too. Man, this is just throwing me off. I'm getting dizzy over here with this. Wait, how do I turn it? It's like on a video game where they got the controls upside down. It says, my manifestation is unraveling and it's beautiful to see. But right now, it's the part where it seems like it won't happen and feels crappy. But I know everyone in this experience, the experience is part of how to manifest. Exactly, bro. The stuff you learn in the middle of it, like, that's the best time. It's like I didn't really enjoy all the times with my friends because I was focused on, I need to manifest her or whatever. But when I did hang out, finally, it's like I'm glad I forced myself to because those are some of my greatest memories. And then you really see who's there for you too. Like you get a better friendship and stuff.
Absolutely, it's coming. Even whether you believe it or not, if this is your purpose, it's made for you. Even when you feel like it's not coming, you're still manifesting it to show up, and it will show up.
Exactly, and it's like I even had look. I just crossed something off my mini manifestation list. I will say this: it's something where it's like. I wrote down little things. It's like little things I want to experience. So like with SP, it's like I've been training for this competition and stuff, but she knows I'm doing it. But I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to get a compliment. Like she's more of like a ball buster, like my brother. My brother's the same way. He will never compliment me, but he complimented me. So I'm like, man, because I wrote down I get complimented on my bodybuilding, and then my brother does it. And I'm like, wow, he never like my brother's always breaking my balls. I wrote down Lily compliments me on my body. Boom, that happened last night. So it's like Damn, like everything you write down, everything you want to experience, you will experience, no matter what person, circumstance, how they are, whatever, it happens.
100%. It will come. It will show itself.
Is this a Count Cocula stealing this?
He's feeling it through the channels of vibrations.
Yeah, that was because that was my other friend. He dressed up as Count. No, but I was gonna say Count Chocula. He was Dracula. I'm like, and then Ray's was like, "Is that Count Cocula?" Thank you both. This is what I needed to hear from both of you. Oh, you're welcome, brother. This is like I said. We're all in this together. We're all going through shit. If someone's been through something and they can pull someone else out, they will. And then you might be going through something and pull somebody else out of something that they went through. So that's the thing. When you realize you're not alone, and that's why we build this community and stuff like that. Like I haven't been as active as I should be, but God damn it, I'm consistent on my Mondays.
Yeah, I mean, hey, in your darkest hours, you still got to continue and believe and strive forward. And when you do that, you become a magnet to all the positivity that is, that you're expecting.
Yeah.
It will come. You just have to believe it. Even when you feel like it won't, if it's what you set out, it will come. And just a little instance, and I don't want to take any light away from my brother here, is that I wanted to be, I wanted to be a city employee. I'll say that.
Yeah. No, let's. Yeah, let's not get that one back.
I wanted to be a cop since I was a kid. It took me forever to do it. I got arrested at 13, right? I applied in 2013. I'm like, this is over. I'm never going to get called. I applied to like 15 different departments. And then in 2017, after I started up my own business, as I'm not even thinking about this being a career choice anymore, I get a random email. And the email was from a detective who said, hey, we want to bring you on board. I couldn't believe it. But the whole time I have been manifesting this. So it's a good example of like, I didn't think this was going to happen. This is not going to happen. I set it down. I put it on the shelf. Of course, the idea in my mind was always there. And 4 years later, I'm in the academy. Right now, you get the mail like, hey, you're going to become a cop when you want it. And yeah, I just had the business down. I had some local business partners, and we can get into that in another live. But the story here is that when you want it, whenever you put it into fruition, it's going to show itself at some point. And I've been beneficial to have such great friends, like Flex here, and he'll tell you, I've got to see him from the beginning to the rise to, being an introvert to an extrovert and being able to help the people.
Yeah.
So my only piece is when you want it, it will present itself. You just can't force it. Be patient.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like he was saying, hopefully you guys were able to hear it, but what's it called? Like he was saying, he wanted to be a cop since he was a kid, but he had all these circumstances that would have made it where he wouldn't have been able to be a cop. And then all of a sudden, like he went out, like that was always his dream. But it's like, okay, I'm not going to wait around. I'm going to start a business. He did that. I mean, it was still probably on your mind, right?
It was definitely on my mind. The cool part of it is, I guess, a strong tie-in, and I hope they can hear me, is that you are always going to be where you're meant to be. And I think you touched on this before as well.
Yeah.
What's made for you is made for you. And a real quick side with that, this is how you know that, the expectancy of where you're supposed to be, it kind of showed itself. My badge number, right, it's a badge number. I looked it up online, and that number correlates to a nebula up in stars or whatever that is actually based on my last name.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even know that.
It's crazy, but it's sometimes like things are written for you already. It's just to show you.
Yeah.
So my badge number correlates with the nebula up in the stars and skies, and I'm not a real big on, space or whatever. I mean, I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
It's super strong tie-in to be like, my star is already matched with the star that's relevant to my last name, which is like, hey, it's meant to be, in a sense.
Yeah, that synchronicity, like Bashar talks about, he goes, well, there is no synchronicity, there's no coincidence, it's all synchronicity, it's all working out in your favor. So essentially it's like, well, if you didn't go through all that, like if you would have applied to become a cop and stuff like that, you would have never met me. I don't know if you would have met your wife, because I don't know if that came through the job, like through knowing someone at the job. And then in turn, like, who knows, maybe you would have never met her. You would have never met me. Then in that case, you wouldn't have even had your daughter if you didn't meet her. And yeah. Yeah.
We just met by kind of dumb luck.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And it's like, even though like all these things where people are like, well, what's the manifestation long run? I mean, you've had your relationship back for 4 years, 5?
Well, I've been with her. I think we're achieving a full total of 9 years in December.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
we were separated for a while, guys. If you want to talk about losing your significant other and trying to get them back, I was the guy who made the mistake, made constant mistakes, and was still able to manifest her back multiple times.
Yeah.
Multiple times. This is now, and I'm talking about I was seeing other people. She had met somebody else. So you want to talk about losing somebody, living with them, then going to not living with them at all. Both of you dating other people, and guess where we're at? If I walk through my door right now, she's downstairs watching our daughter.
Yeah.
It's not that we settled it. If we love each other, and if you feel that that is what's going to happen for you, it will. But you're going to have to put the work in. And sometimes the work is doing nothing and being patient.
Yeah. No, and that's why I said before, sometimes less is more, especially in like the terms of manifesting and stuff like that. It sounds crazy, but it's like, every other aspect of life, the gym, a business, all that stuff, the more you put into it, the more you get out. But you want to be a businessman. Okay, there's a certain thing you have to do, but sometimes trying so hard doing advertisements, this and that. Like I could tell you even from this thing with TikTok, I paid for advertisements, and you know what? We still have less followers than we have on here where I've never advertised once. So it's the less effort you put in because it's more trust. You're walking in faith. What is supposed to happen will happen, and it always works out in your favor. I mean, your story was like inspiring to me when I was going through my stuff because me and Lily been like this was like a 3-year journey going back to, and it was the same thing. We both were like kind of seeing other people at one point. She fucked up, I fucked up, like we both fucked up, and it's like in the end we wound up like where we are now, and it's like a beautiful thing where it's like I used to visualize myself with my laptop on her bed, like running a channel, and who would have known that it's like, oh, I'm running this channel and I'm sitting on her bed doing stuff, and then like her helping me with things in a business. Now she's doing that, just like your wife helps you with your business.
Yeah, she does, and she's great. I mean, I can teach her more, and I will, and it's just, yeah, everything I've ever wanted, like I said, with her, with the business, with my friendships, it all has a weird sense of working itself out even when you're not 100% in it.
Yeah.
We can't always be 100% in it. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. That's the part where sometimes people feel like they're going insane because it's like, I'm trying to control it so much. That's going to induce the panic attacks and stuff. It's trusting and walking in faith. Detaching doesn't mean like, oh, I gave up on it. It means I still want it. I still desire it. I still visualize it, but I'm not going to throw my life away waiting for something because I know that if I've done the work, it's going to unfold in the most natural time. I even see Czak right there wrote, he goes, it popped up like you were doing the work way before this, I believe, because I know you've been around the channel for a while. He said started unraveling in March in a good way. And now he said you're at a little speed bump, but don't pay any attention to that speed bump. Just know that everything happening in this time, that's for me. I wish I would have gone back and taken those time. And like when she came back fast, it's like, fuck, I didn't even finish working on myself yet. And then sure enough, things would fall apart. And it was good because now I've had plenty of time to work on myself and be who I need to be for this. And same thing with you. I know that you got yourself in a much more stable position than look, even getting a house too. You got a big ass house like you wanted and everything. And that all unrolled. And sometimes it was less effort. Like I remember ranting to my dad because we used to get into fights right before I moved out. And it was like, he's like, well, maybe you should get your own place. But at the time I couldn't afford it. I didn't have anywhere to go. And literally the next day, my uncle's like, oh, I'm taking care of my grandpa or my grandpa. He was taking care of him. He goes, I'm not staying at my condo. You could stay there, just watch the place for free and stuff like that. I got a place for free for months. And it was like literally the next day after all these fights and stuff. Oh, we lost connection for a second. But it's like, yeah. And then I get this place and then I'm like, oh, he's going to want to sell it. And I started having some fears, but then he started charging rent after my grandpa passed. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll pay the rent. It's still cheaper than a regular rent. And then when it was time to buy, I always said I'm going to buy a place for under and I'm not going to pay all these rates. Yeah, my rates are still higher than yours. You bought before me, but they're lower than most people buying around the same time as me. And it was just crazy how they did the rates too. They're like, oh yeah, you could, you can do this. And it was just crazy. It's like it all unfolded exactly the way I want. And now I've got my own place, and it's like a lot of the other, like, yeah, there's some fucking stupid ass fees that come with this place, but the other fees, like no water bill, no electric, like that stuff, you save a lot of money on that because I blow through electric and I pay electric, no gas and water, but I love water, so I go through it.
Yeah, I mean, I bought during peak COVID, so my interest rate was great, and that probably won't happen again for a very long time.
Yeah. at least till I buy my house. When I upgrade to a house, then it will happen again.
I put like 5 cars to make $30,000 a month in order to make the down payment for the house, and we just got blessed with that. But it was a manifestation thing too. Like I want my own property, and in due time it came, and it came at the darkest hour.
Yeah.
Because we were separated, we weren't together, and then all of a sudden, the money came around, the relationship got thicker, and we invested, and here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when you think everything is like when you think you're at the worst and it's not going to get better. And I talk about this before, like people wanting to check out. I mean, we and you've both been at those dark places. Like, what am I doing? Like Mickey from Rocky, what am I doing living around here? Well, no, because look where you are. Like, you went through that dark hour for like almost. Were you guys apart for like almost a year? It was like 6-8 months. I don't know if I got the time right.
We were apart for almost, about just, it was just shy or just at a year.
Okay, yeah. So look, you guys talk about time frames. It was a year, but in that time he was in pain. Like I would reach out to him every so often because he was there for me when I was in pain. I would reach out every so often, but he was just kind of on his own thing. I'm not going to bother him too much. Just like when he does that with me, you don't want to over bother your buddies, but that's one of the things too, especially for men's mental health. Like I said, we will hold things in, but if you're lucky enough to have a good friend or you manifest a good friend, like I even said, because being with Lily, I've kind of like drifted off from friends and stuff. Well, now I'm like, I wish there was a way to incorporate it, and I wish I had more friends who have the same mindset as me. Race Car's got the same mentality as me, and we've been able to reconnect in this time. My other two friends, we're able to talk together, and she gets along with them and goes out and like we did that triple date or whatever. My other friend that I knew for a long time, we all went out the other night, which surprised me. She said, yeah, but it was like, I mean, you shouldn't be surprised anymore because whatever you desire comes to fruition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not saying this was easy by any means, man. It was hard. I got in the best shape of my life, which is something I'm working on now too. I'm working on almost every day. But back then, when I was broken, I became elite. I was physically elite. I was in the best shape of my life. But that there's a difference between being elite physically and then being at peace mentally and emotionally.
Yeah.
We want that tie-in to be clear and have the glow, as they call it, for both.
Yeah.
You can't have both, and you'll never have peace. So once I achieved, the peace with being back together, like I get that darkness that some of you have gone through. Like, even if you're physically looking great and all this stuff, it doesn't matter unless you have the person. But just know, when you put in the work, I took a year to get my essence back fully, and even then there was still work to apply, and there's still work till this day.
Yeah.
But we made it happen. It will happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if I could say, like, if I was going off his story because I didn't really even know manifesting. I was trying to see what he did, but it's like if he could do it, I could do it. He was the one. Sorry, I'm dying. There was a time where before I even met Lily, there was another SP, and he told me she was moving to Florida with some fuck boy. Like, what's that guy? Not Charlie Kirk. It was like a Charlie Kirk knockoff from the dollar store. And like, she's like, well, he can move me to Florida. It's like, oh, fuck, you going to Florida. And you're like, hey, she'll be back, and she'll leave him within a year. Bro, 1 year to the date almost, she came back, and I was just getting back together with Lily. And it's like, I had a choice. I could choose Lily or I could choose the girl that I wanted before. And she's like, oh, you want to come over for dinner? I'm like, oh, your boyfriend will like that? And she's like, and he won't be here. And I'm like, oh, man, just like Randy said. And then sure enough, like they broke up like 2 weeks later or whatever. And it's like, I just chose, I'm like, where my piece is now. And it's like, my piece is here. It's like, sometimes you elevate. And I've had clients like this. They've chosen a new SP. And it's like, it worked out even better because they're more happy. So technically, Lily wasn't the original SP, but I didn't know how to manifest at the time. But it felt right because it led me on this journey. And I actually put in way more work with Lily than that girl. And I wanted to. So that's when you feel that attraction towards that person and they'll feel it back and stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes you are going to have a new SP. I mean, that happens. And sometimes the universe is giving you, it's providing for you.
Yeah.
Because you're seeking, you're wanting that connection. Hey, that connection might be coming up with someone new. And it comes, like I said, things come to you when you least expect it. Now, I had a lot of SPs at the time of my separation. And then my wife had an SP as well. So talk about manifesting each other through other SPs. That's probably a mind blowing to some of you.
Yeah.
It's a little toxic.
Yeah.
But we got through it,
Yeah.
Sometimes people are your lessons and get back into something. And you might find someone, and it's okay to explore it because at that point, if you are hurting anybody.
Yeah.
Hurting more.
And as long as you're real with the other people, it's not even bad. It's like, hey, I'm trying, and it's like, and you could still manifest through it. Like people are like, oh, could I see other people? I'm like, I did. There was a time when I didn't. I manifested her back where it was like I was no nut and everything, not jerking off, nothing, and still manifested her back. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna see other people, and I did that, and it's like, okay, and I still manifested her back. So it's like there's literally nothing, but it's like, look, there's third parties on both sides, and we still made it happen.
Yeah, if you see them on social media, that's a toxic thing to do because your mind is trying to repair. You know, separation is like a form of, it's a big form of loss. You're mourning almost.
Yeah.
Your body becomes addicted to the person. It's like a drug. Everything.
Yeah.
You know, so if you start lurking and you start seeing them go out, why don't you deserve to go out? Why don't you deserve to step out and enjoy yourself a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, and these are these times where on holidays and specific,
Yep.
You know, big days, you don't think that person is missing you as well? You'd be absolutely crazy to think that. You are running through their mind just as much as they're running through yours.
Exactly. And it's like, and you just have to accept that thought in your own head that because I desire them, they desire me. And I'm unforgettable. Build up your mentality. I am unforgettable. Who wouldn't want to be with me? Most of the time you're coming from the thing where it's like, well, I wasn't good enough. Or you're comparing yourself to the third party. You're comparing yourself to their exes. You're comparing yourself to whatever. I know I've done all this. And like you said, it's like a drug in your morning. I would see your post on TikTok and it would damn near send me into panic attacks again. It was like, it literally just something positive she was posting like, oh, I'm working out. But then you see fucking simps in there doing like, oh, muscle mama. And I'm like, I want to fucking fight the world. I'll be a deadly man like Mike Tyson. Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's hard, but you will get through this time. Like, and you deserve to have your fun as well. So try to break away from that, whatever is restraining you from feeling like you don't feel guilty for something that someone else is already doing. And it's okay to slightly take that step forward because guess what? You came into this world alone. You're going to leave this world somewhat alone. You know, hopefully you have people by your side.
Yeah.
And you're going to be triumphant walking through this life alone. It's your story. So just don't give up. You know, things will happen in your favor. And just keep them up, you know, the positive mindset that will be so.
Exactly, brother. That's it. It's all like when you make you're writing the story. You're like, as movie makers ourselves, we're the actor, writer, and director of our own story. But if the story turned out perfect, there's no story. It's just we start out with, wow, they lived happily ever after. Where the fuck's my story? You need to have some stakes. A rom-com. Look at with Adam Sandler. If Adam Sandler wasn't, I mean, why would you into losing the girl? Then there would be no movie.
Right. The beauty of the journey is you can't enjoy sun without rain. You know, you can't enjoy life without. If life was great every day, you know, you wouldn't enjoy it as much as when you have a bad day. You know, so
yeah.
It's gonna work out. You know, small manifestation things that happened to me. I wanted to take somebody invited me a party nonstop. Take my daughter, let's go to this party. And I always kept going off these parties. I didn't want to be around people. But you know what? The other day, I'm like, I'm going to take my daughter. I'm going to be on daddy-daughter day. I'm going to take her. What happens? I get a flat tire about 2 miles away from the location. Like, damn, I got no spare. You know, instead of panicking, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to find a tire shop. I rode 2.5 miles to it. I got a new tire. I made it to that party.
Yeah. And you realize it's all working out in your favor. Yeah. Yeah, you will never find it because you're focused on the negative.
Exactly. Listen to my point here. He will guide you to the guiding light.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm like, it's good because I mean, like a lot of times people are like, well, is this just like, sometimes I think people will be like, oh, it's just, you know, Nick has manifested before and that's why he's able to do it. And it's like, no, it's not just me. There's a million success stories online. Even my best friend's done it before. And my other friends, like, what's it called? You'll see him sometimes in the chat. He talks about like when he got fired, he didn't know what he was going to do. He had to take any job he could. Now he loves, like he took a job with a church. He loves working at the church now. Like he legit won't come back to hang out with us because he loves working at the church. But that was something he had to do to survive. Then he wound up getting a job where he's making even more money there. He's experiencing problems. He's called me for a coaching session before. And you know what? Things have turned around for him. He's not as negative as he was for that little period of time. And
that's great.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mindset.
Yeah.
Like what he's saying here. And remember that a new avenue is just being created. A new door has been molded for you to walk through.
Yeah.
Walk through the door. You won't regret it.
Yeah. No, exactly, brother. I'm glad that people are able to see. And then when you come sit down too, like when you actually have some time on a Monday or something, I mean, you work midnight. So if you take a nap or something and we go live at 10 or 11 in the morning, I mean, I was out at the pool with Lily yesterday. They got a nice little section with like these chairs and grills. We could sit there with the cameras and we even put TikTok on too. We'll go live for the audience over there and have two phones set up while we're grilling and just having cigars.
I love the idea. I'm going to let you resume the live. We're going to catch up. I'll try to put something together that we can all talk about. We'll go over it. But I appreciate, you having me on, and much love to the people, man.
Yeah, much love to you, brother. I'm thankful you came on, and I'm sure I'll talk to you after this, but I'll start wrapping up because I got a few other things I'm going to talk about, and then we'll go from there. I'm just going to hit the wrap up now. Promote the.
You guys take care, stay safe. I love you all, and stay abundant.
Yes, sir. Abundant as fuck.
Abundant as
Yeah, au revoir. I'll talk to you in a bit, bro. So there you go. We were originally, everything worked out in our favor too, because he's able to spend time with his family on his off time, and he was able to come on here. Yeah, we didn't get the best audio connection and stuff like that, but we found a way. Like, it's actually his excuse for us to actually hang out now. So he's admired what's been going on with the channel. He's popped into a few of the lives before he's on the Discord. So I mean, you see, Inked has had success. He's had success. Who else? Well, Mitzi comes in here too, and right now she's not here, but Mitzi's had success. She just had a breakthrough in her story too. So I mean, everybody, there's always a positive aspect to everything. The story, it's like, how do I grow from this? What is the good that comes out of this? You're going to come out of this a better person overall, not just for that relationship, but for life, for yourself. You're showing up for you. So just keep that in mind. And I think that would actually conclude it. I put a couple of success stories. There's race cars. I don't want to tell Mitzi's story if she's not here. Ink, you talked about your success story already too. I mean, you received success when you removed attention and importance to it and just said it was something you would like to have. It doesn't mean you don't want it. It's just something you'd like to have. And then Courtney, you've seen success too from realizing, like, being grateful for what you have and then putting attention on the things you do want versus, I mean, if you said, like I said, you're getting some kind of response, right? Like from the universe, you're getting, okay, here, this is somebody with the same name, same aspect, blah, blah, blah. If you want to explore those avenues, go ahead. If you want to buckle down and stay to, it's only SP, then stay with it's only SP. And like you said, rule number one, stay off social media. As Ink says yes, and then Ink has her channel too. But, I think we'll conclude it there. May 23rd is a Sunday, 10 a.m. Central Standard. Did I say 9 or 10? I don't know. I got to make a poster for it. But send me an email if you want to do the, what do you call it? The seminar. That will be May 23rd. Or not May, what the fuck? It's the 23rd. It's in 2 weeks. We're going to do a seminar. If you want to be part of that, send me an email and I'll send you the link and everything. And that will be $85 per person. It's cheaper than coaching, but it's a little bit like this. But I've listed out a whole thing. It's going to be not just 1 or 2 hours like a live. It's probably going to be 3, 4, maybe 5. Like, it's going to be like I'm planning a big seminar thing where we all could talk. We'll go through some practices together, things like that. We'll take little breaks in between. But yeah, we got the seminar coming up. If you want coaching, you could book. I always put the link on there. If you want to go to Discord and you find an issue, please email me so I can figure out what the issues are. If you're just joining the Discord and you saw that it was paid and you don't want to join it, that's cool. Then don't just, maybe if you write something that, hey, I didn't join because of that reason. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure everyone's able to get on. And then if you want the merch, that's there like this. Like, I know Race Car wants this hat too. Ink needs a new hat. But we will be live on next Monday. You know about the coaching sessions. You know to email me if you want that. If you want to be part of the monthly coaching, that's $1,500 a month. But like my clients pay now, they pay $375 per week. So it's like you do 2 sessions for $375, and you get access to my cell phone number. So if you're spiraling, you hit me up. I'll send you a little audio message or a text message, and I'll square you up on that, and then tell you what to do. Take it with you. So there's that, and yeah, that's about all my announcements I have to make. Just like Randy said, he loves you guys. I love you. There's no bad days. Everything's a good day. It's all working out in your favor. Just be patient. Where are you going to be in a year? Look at, he spent a year without SP. No contact. There was a third party. Then he went and found a third party for himself. And, he was going through stuff. She was with someone else. he was having a hard time. I remember seeing that, and like what he did with he'll talk about it more when he comes back. But it's like he was scripting every night, revising his day with stuff that he didn't want. If he saw something negative, he was changing it on his paperwork every night, on his little journal every night. And now look at all these years later. If I've known Lily for 3, damn no, I was wrong, Randy. If you're still on there, your daughter's almost 3 years old now, probably at this point, because I remember me and Lily were together when when your wife went to the hospital with the baby. So I remember that, and you know, you'll never know. You never know where it's going to be. I've had so many successes. June, yes, June is June, and every day, yes, every day you have successes. When you're expecting miracles every day, you make room for miracles in your life. So with that, I love you guys very much. I'll see you around. We had a nice long live today, and well, you know where to find me. I'll be around. I'll see you. Love you guys. See you in the next one.